hopefully I'm still in focus, because I don't know what I'm doing with manual focus. I look to be from here. Okay, we're gonna forge ahead. I thought, what better way to start talking about books on this channel than by completing the Booktube Newbie tag. So the Booktube Newbie tag was created by a YouTuber, Brenda C. I'll link her original video in the description box below. Now, I'll just jump right into the questions. Question number 1. Why did you start this channel? Books aren't the only thing that I talk about on this channel. I have made an introductory video for my channel, which I will link below in the description box, and also try to put in one of those little pop-up icons, which I've never done before. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about me outside of the book realm and about what I hope to do with this channel, please feel free to check out that introductory video. First and foremost, I have been really inspired over the past couple of months by watching many Booktube videos, and I really would like to be part of that community. I don't have too many people in my day-to-day life that really enjoy reading and with whom I get to regularly discuss books. So I'm hoping that by making these book videos on my channel and dipping my toe into the Booktube community, I'll be able to make some friends with whom I can discuss all things books. Other than having the opportunity to engage with the Booktube community and make new friends, I want to start making videos about books in order to help keep a promise to myself. Somehow over the years, I got to a point where I believed that nonfiction books were really the only books worth reading, and I didn't always feel like reading nonfiction books, so I just didn't read. I would like to change this. I really want to re-engage with reading for pleasure. This isn't to say that I don't enjoy reading nonfiction books. I really do enjoy reading nonfiction books. However, I don't want to limit myself. I want to allow myself to read more fiction, more poetry, more graphic novels, in order to re-engage with the pure pleasure of reading. I'm hoping that by making videos and engaging with this community, I will hold myself more accountable to that goal of rekindling my love of reading. And finally, if my videos can inspire at least one person to pick up a book and read when they otherwise might not have, then I will consider them to be super successful. Question number 2 is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? This is a difficult question to answer. Reading is an act that's not done in a vacuum. Each individual brings their own unique life experiences to bear on what it is that they're reading and experiencing through the written word. I believe that each reader, including myself, comes away from the reading experience with their own unique perspective that won't be shared in exactly the same way by any other person. For example, some of the factors that affect my experience as a reader include things like my middle-class American upbringing, my experience operating in the world as a gay man and as a vegan, and also my non-traditional views on religion and spirituality. Overall, I think that my experience as a human being in the manifest universe will give me a unique perspective about books and reading that I can share through these videos on my channel. Question number 3. What are you most excited for about this new channel? As I stated in my answer to question number 1, one of the biggest draws of making book videos on my YouTube channel is the opportunity to engage with the Booktube community and the wider audience of readers that view those videos. I'm really hoping that engaging with the community this way will allow me to develop lifelong friendships with other avid readers. I'm also hoping that it will help me expand my reading horizons by helping me discover works that I never would have found before. Question 4. Why do you love reading? First and foremost, I love reading because it allows me to explore worlds, perspectives, and ideas that I might not otherwise have access to in any other format. As a reader who enjoys nonfiction books, as I mentioned earlier, I also love books as a reading tool. Reading is really one of the ways that I best absorb information. And finally, I love reading as an escape. There's almost nothing better than curling up with a good book. Question 5. What book or series got you into reading? Let's start out with a bit of story time. My mom was very fond of recounting the fact that before I knew how to read, when I was really young, I used to cry myself to sleep at night because I couldn't read. I guess that despair really helped me learn how to read at a very early age, and I've never really stopped since then. So some of my earliest reading influences that I can remember include books like The Phantom Tollbooth or the Chronicles of Narnia series, or even Goosebumps, if any of you are old enough to remember them. When I was a young reader in the late 80s and early 90s, there weren't quite as many young adult novels as there are now. So I quickly graduated to reading adult novels, especially in fantasy and science fiction. Some of the series that captured my imagination as a middle school and high school reader included Dragonlance novels, the Xanth novels by Piers Anthony, Discworld novels by Terry Pratchett, the Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice, and of course, Lord of the Rings. As you can probably tell, I was a big fantasy nerd. More recently, I have discovered the wide world of young adult novels. Yes, I am a 30-something who reads young adult novels. Try not to judge me. We'll call it recapturing my youth. And finally, despite the fact that I used to judge my mom for her romance novel reading, I have recently been bitten by the romance bug, specifically romance and other queer romance stories. Question 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? I guess along the lines of my recent found romance obsession, I would want to ask other booktubers what genre they grew up thinking they would never ever enjoy and now find themselves completely smitten with. And number 2, I would really like to know what books have had a tangible impact on their lives. Question 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? As with most things in my life, it will be sustained commitment. Really forcing myself to schedule in the time to make the videos that I want to make and not just skate by. Question 8. When did you start reading? Let's reference the aforementioned sobbing into my pillow when I could not read as a young child. Once I was able to stop crying and start reading, I haven't stopped. Although I am not always the fastest or the most voracious reader, my love of books has never really gone away. Question 9. Where do you read? I truly will read just about anywhere, although I try to draw the line at taking library books into the bathroom. You're welcome. And now the final question, question 10. What kind of books do you like to read? As you can probably tell from the discussion thus far, I have been a lifelong fan of fantasy and science fiction literature. I also thoroughly enjoy reading many types of nonfiction and comics and graphic novels. And finally, as I mentioned earlier, I have recently been bitten by the bug to read more young adult novels as well as queer romance novels. And that brings us to the end of the questions for the Booktube newbie tag. Before I go, I wanted to let you know that I have created a companion blog for all things reading to go along with my videos that I'm producing here on the channel. Unoriginally, I have titled the blog Chad Reads. on it. I will, of course, post links to the YouTube book videos that I make, but also I plan on putting all of my written reviews as well as any other material related to books that I want to put out over on that blog. If you care to check it out, I will leave a link to it in the description box below. As always, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon in another video. Until then, have a wonderful day. The jackhammering.